Hey, it's Domain Dave, cheapwinefinder.com. As always, I think I'll start this one off right away without going the whole explanation to who we are. There's enough out there, you can figure it out. This is a wine I found at Trader Joe's. It's not a Trader Joe's wine. It's available everywhere. It's from a leading producer, a family-owned winemaker. This is Cline Ancient Vine Zinfandel 2022. Trader Joe's had it for $13.99, which is a good price. It lists for $22 on Cline's site. And I'm looking at the web, it was anywhere from $14 to $20, within the middle there somewhere. So this is not a cheap wine. Actually, everything over $11 is actually high-end wine. I mean, it's cheap wine under $11. Not that actually works with store brands and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't really work any way anymore, but that's how they used to be. This is a wine from Contra Costa AVA County, which is just east of the San Francisco Bay. It's below the San Pablo Bay. There's a bunch of bays in there. Sonoma, Napa are north of that on the other side of the bays. Back in the early 1900s, this was the place to get wine in Northern California. And then Prohibition hit, and everybody shut down for all those years. And then I think there was there's housing moving in and all sorts of stuff. And a lot of the winemakers or wineries, vineyards, moved north and started growing in Napa and Sonoma. And back then, they were not developed. There were people in there, but not many. And there was open property to buy and grow, and good ones. And so now, Contra Costa kind of is the parents of Sonoma and Napa. But there's still a lot of vineyards here. And much of them are 100 years old or more. And Cline, I believe them to be Cline Estate Vineyards, because their paperwork's, their tasting notes that are, and so okay, it must be yours. But the back of the bottle says vinted and bottled by Cline, and that just means they bottled it. But that doesn't actually mean what it always means, because sometimes a vineyard's under one company name, and another vineyard's another, and the winemaking facility are another. So it's so complicated. The back of the bottles don't mean much anymore. I'm gonna take a sip. A couple of things are worth noting here. They fermented it in concrete vats. And it was also open-top fermentation. Both of those are a little bit interesting. Well, more than a little bit. Open-top fermentation means that the air can get to it, and the one thing you don't want is the air getting to it. But there's a cap of the crushed or the pressed grapes up on top, and they form a tight cap and keep the air out, because the air was not, you got to control the air. But it's always a little bit of a challenge to do that. And concrete vessel for fermentation, concrete is really good at holding temperature and humidity steady. There's not a lot of changes, and that's exactly what you want when you're doing fermentation, because if it's a stainless steel tank or even a wood barrel, if you get a front comes in and the temperature goes up or down, and the pressure of the air changes, it changes the wine too. You don't want that, and the concrete will protect that. And then after they did all that, they put this wine on French oak, various ages of French oak, for 16 months. So that's the kind of oak program that you get in high-end price wines. They didn't name a cooperage or anything. That's when wine gets really expensive, when they're talking about the cooperages. But just picking out oak to put your wine in for 16 months, French oak on that, is pretty nice detail. And they went through some trouble to ferment it. That concrete and the open top, you don't do that if you're just trying to make a quick buck. You That's what you're doing. You're trying to get a certain, you want a certain type of wine to come out. I'll take another sip. Cline is family owned. They're on the third generation. From the website, it looks like all the kids have their own winery or their own wine project. It looks pretty cool. But this is a really nice Zinfandel. It's rich. It's got extracted fruit, but it's not sweet. This is a dry wine. It's got spice. Here's the thing about spice in Zinfandel grapes. Zinfandel grapes in a bunch can run the gamut between not barely ripe to too ripe, like going to almost rot. So you get a single bunch, you can get the whole gamut. And rather than picking the bad ones off or whatever, they just let it go. And that's where you get the spicy flavor you don't get anywhere else. It's kind of one of the unique things about Zinfandel. It's something you don't get in Primitivo. It's supposed to be the Spanish version of Zinfandel. It's not Spanish, Italian version of Zinfandel. But there you go. This is Cline Ancient Vines Zinfandel 2022. It's got some age to it. It's tasty. It's rich. It's a steak wine. It's a sipping wine. It's a good wine. At Trader Joe's is $14, but even at $20, it's not a bad wine. So adios, keep it cheap. Domain Dave. I'll be talking to you in a couple days. Adios, bye-bye.